All right. So I have whatever. We just gonna unplug from the charger and rock him like this. All right. So the name of this is Jesus Calling. Doesn't matter if you believe in Jesus, whether you're a Christian or not. The book is going to have something in it that I believe anyone can take away from and apply to their everyday life. Today is November 17th, correct? Oh, we gonna flip there. There is no condemnation for those who are in me. The law of the Spirit of life has set you free from the law of sin and death. Not many Christians know how to live in this radical freedom, which is their birthright. I died to set you free. Live freely in me. To walk along the path of freedom, you must keep your mind firmly fixed on me. Many voices proclaim, "This is the way for you to go," but only my voice tells you the true way. If you follow the way of the world with all its glitter and glamour, you will descend deeper and deeper into an abyss. Christian voices also can lead you astray. Do this, don't do that. Pray this way, don't pray that way. If you listen to all those voices, you will become increasingly confused. Be content to be a simple sheep, listening for my voice and following me. I will lead you into restful green pastures and guide you along paths of righteousness. And so, again, like I said, I believe that anyone can take something away from this book. You don't have to believe in Jesus, right? And so, with that, I want to point this out. If you follow the way of the world with all its glitter and glamour, you will descend deeper and deeper into an abyss, right? And so, how many times have you've seen the story of somebody pursuing something that was the ideal or the societal norm, and they start chasing after what other people have or trying to do things the way the majority are doing things to get the accolades or get the results. But then after they get the accolades or get the results, they realize they don't like the person that they're becoming or the person they've become or the actions they had to take in order to get to that place, right? We hear that story all the time. The person who wanted the success so bad that they betrayed everyone they ever knew, or they spent all their time doing other things and spending it with their friends, their family, their loved ones, right? And then at the end of it, they're like, wow, everyone I ever cared about is no longer around. Or they're like, wow, I don't like the person that I am anymore because I did X, Y, and Z and I betrayed myself, right? And so that's something for us to just be mindful of and to think about. And every day, ask yourself, why do I do the things that I do? What is it that is driving me? What is the driving force behind my actions? Is it because these are the things I believe I should be doing? Or is it because I'm acting out of what other people believe I should be doing? Or is it because I'm going after the glitz and the glamour and the things of the world? You feel me? Is it because the world tells me I'm supposed to have a college degree? Is it because the world tells me I'm supposed to get married, have kids, and have a house? Like, why are you chasing the things that you're chasing? Is it because it's what's put on your heart? Or is it because you're looking around outside and these are the things that other people are doing? Because the more that you take in outside influences to determine how you should behave, the more confused you're going to be if especially if it's going against the things that you think you should be doing or the things that you know you want to do. If I know I want to work in finance, but instead I become a doctor or I become, I don't know, a mechanic, like I'm going to have that dream in the back of my head. And everything that I do that's in the opposite of what I feel like I should be doing is going to make me feel some type of way. I'm going to be self-conscious of my behaviors. I'm not going to trust myself because I didn't act in my own best interest once before. So now I'm not sure if I ever do act in my own best interest, right? We have to build a relationship with yourself. And the first way you can do that is by honoring yourself, honor your own thoughts, honor your own wants, and respect the fact that you are an individual and you might be thinking things differently than other people. That's okay, right? As long as you're not purposefully imposing ill will on other people, you don't have to do everything else that everyone else is doing. Your life doesn't have to look like other people's in order for you to be happy or to be successful. And that's something that I definitely had to learn and I continually learn probably every couple of months, for real, for real. And I started learning this as a freshman in college, because part of the only reason I went to college is because I didn't know what else I should be doing, right? They told us you're young, everybody's supposed to go to school, go to college, and get an education. So I went to college. The things that I went to college for aren't things that I even needed a degree to get into, right? But because of the fact I felt as if I was going to be looked down upon because I didn't have a degree, I went to college and I got an art degree. And then I'll still get looked down on because who the fuck gets a degree in art? You feel me? So I was like, dang, dog. But at the same time, I honored myself and I honored the things that I wanted to do. So every day I remind myself that I respect the fact that I finished a task that I assigned to myself, even when other people were looking at what I was doing and thinking I should be doing something different, right? At this point in time, do I kind of agree that maybe I could have done something different? Yeah, but it's too late now. I have the experience, I have the knowledge, and I know that I can start a process and complete a process, and that I have the strength to go against the odds of what other people think I should be doing, right? So, character building, step by step. All right, let's get back into this. Be content to be a simple sheep, listening for my voice and following me. And so, with this one, I am going to bring this one back to this book, right? And so, Jesus is supposed to be the shepherd, right? We're supposed to be the sheep or be the flock. And so, with that being said, we're not supposed to look to the whole world for our influence, our instruction, right? And the only way for us to communicate with Jesus, since he's no longer here, is through the Spirit. How do we communicate through the Spirit? By taking time to be quiet enough and hear our inner spirit, to hear our inner consciousness, to hush the voices of the rest of the world, hush the opinions of everybody else, and be in a quiet place and really just ask yourself, what is it that drives me? What is it that motivates me? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? And then you could pray a little bit too. But then you just got to be quiet. Sometimes the answers come to us when there are no distractions, when there's a lack of noise and sound, a lack of movement, when you're not running all over, your attention's not popping from here to there, your focus isn't being taken from here to there to the next thing. And then you can actually hear the inside voice. You feel me? The inside thoughts, the inside wants, the cravings of your soul outside of this is what I'm looking at physically, and these are the things I'm supposed to be doing physically, right? And this is something else that I think is interesting. It says Christian voices can also lead you astray. Do this, don't do that, pray this way, don't pray that way. If you listen to all of these voices, you will become increasingly confused. And so this is something that I learned after graduating college. I worked in a church for a minute, and one sermon that the pastor did was talking about the idea of drinking and eating certain foods and stuff. And it's like, if you actually look at the Bible, they drink wine regularly, right? So you'll talk to some Christians who tell you, oh, you're not supposed to be drinking, or you're not a real Christian if you drink, right? Jesus made the wine for the party. And Jesus was the first example of what it was to be a Christian. Kind of. That's a whole nother topic. Jesus wasn't a Christian, first off. So having Christians try and tell you that you need to do X, Y, and Z in order to be a good Christian when Jesus didn't say it, hey, now I will say this. It says to be sober minded, which means you're not supposed to be getting drunk. And you definitely not supposed to be blacking out. Because if you know what alcohol is, it's spirit. They literally call it distilled spirits, bottled spirits, right? Which is why some people will say, as a Christian, the only spirit you're supposed to partake in is the Holy Spirit, right? So that makes sense. But at the same time, kings drink, right? But here's the separation. If you really break it down in the word, it's like kings were not allowed to have hard liquor. Kings would drink seltzers, beers, and wines. They weren't outside with tonics and they weren't outside with bourbons and stuff like that. You feel me? There's a separation between the level of the spirit and what kind of spirit they were actually drinking, right? Which I think is interesting. And I'm not telling anybody yay or nay on anything. These are just things that I've learned along the way. And so the pastor was saying, part of the way you know what you're supposed to be doing is how you feel. If you feel negatively condemned in your spirit every time you drink a beer, you probably should stop drinking that beer, right? And then for different people, there's different rules. The court gesture doesn't have to adhere to the same rules as the muffin man, you feel me? Or as the priest or as the shepherd. Like their jobs require different levels of attention and thought, right? And so as Christians, it's not for us to condemn people because of their behaviors. It's for us to coach and guide people into being their truest, fullest, authentic self and honoring the Lord. The way you honor the Lord might be slightly different from how I honor the Lord. It's like, even look at this. They take the blood and the body of Christ. It's supposed to be wine. But then you want to go around telling people that they're bad for having alcohol. Like, what are we doing? We're actually being divisive. We're being confusing and we're being divisive. God is not a God of confusion, and he's not a God of separation. So by us arguing these points and then condemning people, we're doing the antithesis of what Christ wanted us to do. What? We're supposed to be bringing people together, not shunning them away. You smell like liquor. You can't come in here. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, I think I might just end this here. Uh, that's the first thing that comes to me when I see do this, don't do that, pray this way, don't pray that way. And again, it's like people will claim that they're Christians and they're going off of the word. But like I said, Jesus was the prime example of what it was to be a Christian, and he didn't call himself a Christian, right? So he didn't walk in the same air of religiosity, right? Or even a hierarchy. Like, he was sitting with the bums. Homie was sitting with the bums. He was sitting with the prostitutes. He was sitting with the everyday people. He wasn't sitting with the aristocracy. I can't talk right now. He wasn't sitting with the royal people. He wasn't sitting with the priests in the church. He literally went to the priest in the church and told them, y'all are vipers. You brood of vipers. And he started smacking these because do y'all realize that Jesus literally was beating priests? So for everybody who's like, oh, they're a priest, they're a pastor, they're an apostle, we have to, you respect the person. Yes, you do not respect the title. Jesus was no respecter of persons. He respected the spirit moving through the person, which was the spirit of God. So I revere everybody with the level of respect that I would give something that was made by my creator. But your position, your title, what you do bears no authority in the spirit, dog. So my spirit does not acknowledge your title. I don't care. I acknowledge the righteousness of the person, which is the same thing that Jesus did, which is the same thing he was teaching people to do. But then he passed, became the Christ, people passed on the knowledge, and now we have Christians walking around claiming to be working in Jesus's name and doing the exact opposite of him. They're ignoring people who don't go to church. They're telling people they're going to hell. You feel me? They're telling people they're wrong. They're judging people, telling them that they can't be a part of their life. Da, 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 da. Yes, Jesus brought correction, but he did so with compassion, not condemnation. There's no condemnation for those who are in Christ. All right, let me get off this. Y'all not hearing me. Y'all listening, but I don't know if y'all really hearing me right now. I don't know if y'all really hearing me. Even right here, not many Christians know how to live in this radical freedom, which is the lack of condemnation, which is why you get a lot of Christians telling other people what it is that they should be doing and how they should be doing it, because they're still seeking for the answers within themselves. They're still seeking the justification within themselves because they're not fully walking in the spirit. They're not fully justified by the life that they're living. They're not fully justified by the conversations they have with the Father themselves. Therefore, they try to control how you conversate with the Father, how you come to the Father, how you live your life. Jesus is not about control. He's about relinquishing control so that the Spirit can lead. But again, y'all don't really hear me though. Y'all don't really hear me though. Y'all don't really hear me though. And that's fine. Like I said, I'm hot. I'm sweating. Man, I'm about to go take a shower. I hope y'all have a good one. Be blessed. Again, before I get off here, I'm going to just let y'all know Good skincare is next to godliness. That's why I encourage everyone to have some skincare regimen. Me personally, I use this right here, is whipped beef tallow honey balm, right? A little bit of honey, a little bit of lavender, some beef tallow, has vitamin A, B, D, E, and K in it, and B1. So just take a little pea-sized amount. You see, I got my nice little skin glow right now. All I did was wash my face with some cold water and put this on it about 20 minutes ago. I'm set for the day. You could do it once in the morning, once at night. I promise you, your skin will thank you, your face will thank you. If you're a man, women will notice. A lot of dudes lack out here in the skincare department, in the moisture department, period. I remember I was in high school and I had a speech and debate partner who was one, a female, and two, she was white, right? And so we would hold hands during high intense moments in competition, whatever. Oh my God, we're so nervous. And she was like, oh my God, you're so soft. Oh my God, you're so smooth. And I was like, okay. She's like, what do you do? And I was like, nothing. Right. And then one day, for some reason, I don't remember what, she felt my arm. And she was like, oh my God, your arms are so soft too. And I was like, okay. She's like, what is your routine? And I'm like, I don't have one. Right. One night we were on an overnight trip and she came in our hotel room and I had a bottle of lotion. She said, you told me you didn't have a skincare routine. Bro, I use cocoa butter. That's it. Like, and I don't even do it every day. Like, I'm bad. I was taught to put moisture on my skin every time I get out the shower. I put lotion on twice a week, bro. But that just opened my eyes. Like, wow, most of the dudes that she's come in contact with had dry skin. A majority of the dudes she's come in contact with had rough skin, right? So I automatically was just separated from the crowd because she had never experienced that. I'm like, that's very